Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eden.
And Shelby.
And today we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite shrimp crosses. Shelby will also add in maybe one or two of her favorites, but I didn't press it on her. But yeah, as always, we'll be going through chat, answering all of your shrimp questions as well. But I do have my top 10 here handy. So before we get started, you want to say hello?
People are in here early today. Hello, Jamie. You definitely need to leave work for sure. Tell them you're sick. Hello, Cryptcuber Aquatics. And Frank is here. Hello.
How's it going, guys?
I'm glad to see your shrimp made it. Hopefully they do really well for you. Hello, Big Dog. And Scotty the Fish Freak, welcome in. Hello, Ed. And then we got Chris George. How you doing? And Jeff Kane and Shane. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? We had a question up there, I saw.
How far back?
Right there. Big Dog.
Oh, okay. How do you keep all baby shrimp? Mine keep dying.
So, chances are, if they're dying, you're having an issue with water parameters. Either they're not stable, not consistent, maybe you have high nitrates, not doing enough water changes, or something like that. So, if you want your babies to survive, you got to keep your water parameters as consistent as possible. And you want to make sure that there's a nice food source readily available in the tank. I don't mean necessarily dosing with powdered foods, but if you don't have a lot of good growth or a nice seasoned tank, then you might have to. But a lot of times dosing the powdered foods can cause more issues. If you don't do the perfect exact amount, you can be causing your nitrates and ammonia levels to go up. So without knowing your entire setup, all your parameters and everything like that, it'd be a little bit rough to go on exactly what your issue is. But those are my top baby tips.
All right. A couple people came in since you've been talking. Hello, MTS. And Beta Lover.
What's up, Ed?
I already said hi.
I'm just saying hi.
Hello, Jeff Kane. And every time it gets me, ooh, I'm only going to be able to call you that. Hello, Johnny. And then we got Scuba Steve. Welcome in.
What's up, man?
And now I know there was a couple questions I skipped right past. There it is. So Ed asked, what substrate do you use in outdoor tubs for Neos?
So you want to use something inert. We do have some Brightwell Aquasoil substrate in some of the Neo ponds. I was trying to get some good growth on we threw a bunch of bobitis and moss outside. However, it really is not needed for how much we feed the shrimp outside and how much sunlight and everything that they get. The substrate was just kind of a waste of money. The inert substrates like the Black Diamond Blasting Sand is going to be the cheapest one. However, we use the Carib Sea Samurai soil. It's an inert soil, but it's round balls and it's easy to clean and take care of. And it looks kind of like the aqua soil, but it doesn't break down over time and turn to mud. So that's kind of what we've gone through. And they have our shrimp on their logo, so I kind of like to use it.
I enjoy it.
There's MTS.
Yeah, this is Grant. I'm going to need more Blue Dreams. I didn't think and put angelfish in with them. Oops. I still have a few, but I need a bigger cleaning crew.
That's unfortunate. Poor guys.
Little snacks.
And yes, Steve, we will be at the Triple Crown. We are actually going to be heading up there with Lucas Bretz. So it's going to be quite
Road
a road trip, fun time.
And the kids.
Yeah, the kids are coming with us as well. So, and I'm putting Jaden to work this time. He's all excited to get ready and sell some shrimp and plants. So he's ready for it.
Welcome in, Richard. And hello, Lefty. You are early.
How's it going, man?
Just started.
And just in time, because
shameless plug, Shelby. Never shameless.
Now that we've caught up to chat, I'm going to go ahead and start off. We're going to go from worst to best. And this isn't like the worst crosses to do necessarily, but the worst of my top 10. And a lot of people think that the Neocardina are uncrossable, that you're going to get wilds. And that's true. 99% of the time, you're going to get wilds. However, there is a couple crosses of Neos where you can get some really cool shrimp. And at number 10 on the list, we've got the red cherry shrimp crossed with blue velvets. And that's how you get the red rilli blue bodies. When I first got into the hobby, my very first shrimp was red cherries. And I bred those out into 3 tanks before I felt comfortable enough to try a new, I almost said flavor, a new color of shrimp. Shelby just stubbed her toe after making fun of me. I split my toenail. I stubbed my toe so hard earlier. So, karma. But, yeah, so when I finally got my blue velvets, I got them off of a seller on eBay. They're more than likely imports, and they started dropping like flies when I got my hands on them. So, I ended up with just one single blue velvet that survived for like over a month, and that's what I considered at the time quarantine. And well, I didn't want the little guy to be all by himself, and I didn't want to buy blue velvets from that seller again, and I couldn't find them elsewhere. So I did the rational decision, and I moved a bunch of red cherry females into his tank, and just to see what happens. Well, I got really lucky, and I got the red rilli blue bodies. And that was kind of like, okay, cool. I can take 2 shrimp and make a different color shrimp. What can I do now? And it really kind of got me hooked and addicted to shrimp keeping, where I wanted to get my hands on every single type and color. And it wasn't long after that that I had 40 to 50 different types within like a year period. Did you have something in chat? I see some new people. How's it going, Doc Anthony? How's it going, Jay Oliver?
I never know when you're gonna stop. You
gotta be ready when I say it's your turn. You gotta be in queue.
Hello, welcome in Arctic Winds. Scuba said, "Hope to see you all coming to my hometown." That's always exciting.
It's your hometown. I did not know that. Do I get an invitation, maybe, come see some Scuba Steve tanks and do a little fish room tour? I don't like to invite myself, but there's not a lot of time for you to get a lot of hints.
Ed said, yes, I got lucky and added the samurai soil today to my 96-gallon fiberglass tub with a front panel glass. That's exactly what we were talking about today.
Yeah, so I actually had a turtle friend show up at the house today from California. And I don't usually let people come over the house, but Mondays are our days. Shelby is a champ, 10 packages, all out by herself. So anything that went out today, all Shelby. So if it's wrong, I'm just kidding. I did pack or bag up the emerald culls because somebody added those on, and I got the back lines for Crypt Keeper because she just didn't want to catch them. Even after I was like, no, go ahead. Like, you're probably going to catch really nice ones, feel bad. But
you
I'll
said the opposite.
I'll end up, no, I did not say the opposite. I said, go ahead, because you're probably not going to catch as nice as one as I will, because you're going to feel bad giving away my nice shrimp. So it doesn't matter. Any backline in that tank can go to Crypt Keeper. Don't hold out. So, but I still caught them for you. And then I went golfing. So Shelby's a real champ. Edited one of our videos. We got the difference between blue dreams and blue diamonds. When is that going to be coming out?
Probably Wednesday.
So you heard it from her. Probably Wednesday.
Most likely.
If Thursday.
If it comes out.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
In broadcast. Hello, Dr. Anthony. I
But
said that right?
I am really excited for the video because one of our better videos is the green emerald versus the green jade. And a lot of people since then have been asking for blue dream blue versus blue diamond. And then the next one in the series is going to be red cherry versus bloody mary. But if you watch this one, it's probably going to give it away, but it's still got to be done.
Oh, welcome in, J. Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics. Hope you're doing well as well.
Oh man,
and
Lefty,
he
I
said-
read that comment,
Okay.
and can you bring up Lefty's comment? Speaking of shrimp, down all the way. I read this comment and I was like, no, I talked so much hype up. I said you're gonna be able to keep these alive, and I just started speaking of shrimp dropping like flies, and I was like, no, the only shrimp he has are from mine. And then I kept reading, but yeah, my whole heart and stomach sunk in like a half a second before I kept reading.
Oh yeah, and Dr. Anthony said, Karma, don't say that. Nothing is going right here in Peru.
Oh, well,
You just made it worse.
no.
All your fault. That's what we're all hearing.
Well, hopefully that turns around. It's just the beginning of a project. You gotta expect a few bumps on the road, but they're lucky enough to have someone like you in control of things. Because you know what I was thinking the other day is how nice would it be if we had somebody like Dr. Anthony over in Sulawesi teaching those people who are farming all the shrimp and everything out of the lakes and overfishing them. If Doc Anthony was over there teaching them how to breed them in little ponds that weren't getting, hunted by other Sulawesi fish and stuff like that, I'm sure they could breed them out. And, the world needs more people like Dr. Anthony. So hopefully if you, get that all set up, more people will follow suit.
Welcome in, Mason.
All right.
Just like Lefty said, don't give up. You got this.
Oh.
And
if you need be, when you head back to Peru and everything's good, I'll help out. I'll do some manual labor. That's all I'm really good for.
Hello, George Farr, and welcome in, Dee Dee. Anthony said, Dr. Anthony said, you two are a great couple.
Well, I have to agree. She's the greatest girl I've ever met. All right, number 9 on the list.
Sorry.
And there's not going to be too many of these. This is the last one. Neocrosses kind of suck. And I kind of forgot to mention, like, the red cherries with the blue velvet, this can work. But there are dirty blue velvets out there. Not all of them are legit. If it's not solid sky blue head to toe, it's not a legit blue velvet. If there's any patches of dark, deep blue that's darker than this pen, then that's not going to be a blue velvet. You got to get that out of there. So the blue velvet cross, it's not for sure, but like I mentioned, I got lucky. And then the next one on the list is Bloody Mary with Blue Dream. This is how I got my red rilli with the deep dark blue bodies, but also this is where my purples come from. It's kind of a little secret, but it's out there. More than enough people know, so it's not like I'm throwing out taboo information or anything like that. But 9 out of 10 times when I did this, what are you laughing for?
I just can't take you seriously.
Oh, a lot of breeders get upset when you start putting out trade secrets. So
it's still really difficult to achieve. So
yeah, 9 out of 10 times I did the cross Blue Dreams with Bloody Marys, and I ended up with wilds. And I was gonna give up. I don't know why. I said, all right, 10th time is the charm for sure. That's what they say, right? And yeah, I got lucky, and I got some nice red, really blue bodies. This is also where my like blues with the orange come out of, and then of course my purples. So they are on the list. Purple is Shelby's favorite color, and because it's such a rare Neocaridina, purple being a rare shrimp in the shrimp hobby, a rare color in the shrimp hobby as it already is. that is on my list. But then coming in at number, you want to go back to chat? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I never know when you're gonna do it or not. I'm pretty sure I said hi to Dee Dee, but hello again if I did miss you.
I don't think you said hi to Dee Dee because I just recognized her, so that's why I stopped and I said, "You want to go back to chat? Say hi to Dee Dee."
Welcome in, Guppy Beast.
How's it going, man?
Layla runs through the house.
She wants attention. I don't know if anybody
horse
saw
running.
her in one of the other streams, but she did like a little crab dance behind one of the tanks, and I was like, "Layla, you need just get out of here. You need to go to bed," without telling her to go to bed.
Jamie said, "What genetics do the yellow backline come from in green jades?"
So the green jades is kind of one of those things where not a lot of people know exactly where they came from. You can kind of speculate, though. In early ancestry from the green jades, they were spitting out a lot of yellow and a lot of blue coals. So maybe they got lucky, crossed one of the blue type of Neocardina with the yellow golden back 24 karat line. And that's where the backline comes from, as well as the yellow coals that do come out still of the green jades. Very rare. You also get some yellow out of the emeralds, but like more likely we'll get like an orange one. It's really weird.
I think we still have to discuss that because a lot of shrimp are coming out with backlines that, like, I mean, reds, yellows, greens. There's a lot of backlines.
Yeah, but I think that's all that line, and then we got the black rose, and it's like two separate lines. So,
yeah.
And black, the back lines are dominant. So if they're in the genetics, they're gonna pop up and keep popping up.
And asked, what kind of plants do you use in your outdoor tubs?
A lot of moss. Moss does the best, and then we have some Laguidia repens hybrid, Laguidia curta or something like that does really well. The hygro does really well. It depends how much shade, how much fertilizer, how much water changes and stuff you want to do, but pretty much anything inside. But like the best stuff that I like to do outside are going to be the lilies, the mosaic Laguidia. It's a stem plant, but then when it grows up to the top, it looks like it's a bunch of plants put together. And then did I say the tiger lotus? Those are really cool because they shoot like leaves that grow up over. But the floaters are really cool. We actually got a really cool floater coming on the way, and when you flick the leaves collapse on themselves like the moving mimosa plant, but this one's aquatic, so it can grow on top of the water. And then like water lettuce, if it's legal in your state, that's a great one to grow outdoors because it's going to absorb a lot of nitrates, and then it's going to send out tons and tons of little hiding spots with the roots, and the shrimp just love to hang out in there. But when you harvest it, you're going to harvest shrimp with it too. What's up, Dane?
That's your way of saying to go back to chat. Hello, no. Lonnie. Hope you're doing well as well. We are good. I just want to
say hi to my friend and see him in chat. Okay.
All right. It was just so loud. Skipped.
I'm going to number 8 on the list. For anybody that wanted to join in on the Cardina crosses, the rest are all going to be Cardina. So if you wanted more Neo crosses, I'm sorry, it's all going to be wilds. That's your answer. I just didn't have any other fun Neo crosses that are going to leave you with anything like hope. So, yeah, I didn't know how to put that. That was good. So number 8 is going to be crystals crossed with Taiwan bees. That is how you make Mischling shrimp. A Mischling is just a crystal shrimp that has Taiwan bee genetics. So I tell people, if you're starting out and you want to get into Cardina, start with tangerine tigers because you can't mess them up. If you kill those, like you're killing anything you put in that water, chances are. However, if you're wanting to start with the right proper care for Cardina parameters around like 6 pH and 0 kH, I like to start off with a good Mischling because you're going to get 2 things out of this crossing. One, you're going to get more crystal shrimp, which is great. If you're breeding crystal shrimp, that's an achievement in itself. It's not easy to do. All of your parameters have to be on point. And again, I'd be having plenty of growth and for biofilm and spaces for it to grow on and surface area and whatnot. But at the same time, If everything is absolutely perfect, you will also get some Taiwan bees. So there's a little wiggle room for the crystal shrimp, but with Taiwan bees, you really need everything to be absolutely perfect and consistently stable. With the crystal shrimp, water fluctuation and parameters can change a little bit, but Taiwan bees not so much. So for that reason, if you have Mischling shrimps as your starter shrimp and you're breeding them out and you get crystal shrimps, you're doing a great job. But if you're getting Taiwan bees as well, congratulations. That'll give you the confidence to move on, because if you can breed those, you can breed any of the shrimp that I keep in the household besides the Sulawesi shrimp. So the boas, the galaxy pintos, everything like that, they're all the exact same care as the Taiwan bees. Did you have something to say?
The fact that you should also help people know the difference between what a Taiwan bee is and a crystal shrimp. Name a couple examples so that people know what you're talking about. Because
so crystal
I struggled
shrimp
with that for you.
Crystal shrimp, I'm talking the pure red line, pure black line, which are just pure line breeding of crystal blacks or crystal reds. You got snow whites, golden bees, and that's going to be it for like pure crystals. There's still a debate out there whether the super crystal blacks and super crystal reds are actually true crystals or not. I think they're a hybrid. I'm not so stoked on them being bred out the opposite direction. I don't think that it was easy enough, because nobody like put the missing link of like, oh, this is how hard my work was. It was just like from point A to point Z, and it was like, how did you get that far that fast? So I don't think it was like that. I think something was cross involved, because I get several. That's a long story. Back on track though. The Taiwan bees, these are going to be your blue bolts, red King Kongs, black King Kongs, shadow pandas, shadow mosuras, and that's going to be a shrimp that you can all keep in one another and breed them together. Lots of color involved, and they're not going to mix and make any other type of shrimp. I didn't put those on the list because you're not really crossing anything. You're not making anything new. That's just Taiwan bee shrimp on their own. But using those to cross with is excellent, because the crystal shrimp have one layer of pigment, and it's kind of why they're splotchy, a little translucent in the breaks and stuff like that, where the Taiwan bees are kind of nicknamed shadow bees, because they have one layer of pigment that is shadowed over by another layer of pigment that gives them like that double effect. That's why the shadow pandas, where they have the white and the blue color, and it kind of like fades in and out like the blue bolts, depending on their mood, stress, when they're molting, how much they've eaten, whatever. But that's the two layers of pigment that are coming in and out as their camouflage reflexes are semi-working.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't mention it.
That's how I learned. So Lefty said, I'll probably be getting some more from y'all at the Crown. One of my tumor betas passed away, so I've got an empty tank. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
I get so sad when one of my fish pass away, especially beta fish. You bond with them quite a bit. Hello, Robert Bloomfield. Welcome.
What's up, man?
Dee say, you're sweet. He's barely sweet. He's like those, sweet and sour fruits. And Dr.
Putting that
says,
nicely.
My wife makes me the best person too. Any partnership makes the better of the other person, that's for sure.
Not true. Have you seen Eddie? They never watch our streams.
Eddie does.
They're never actually watching the whole thing.
So Jamie said, so I should not dump all my Bloody Mary into my blue dream tank.
I mean, that's what I would do, because I like purple and I like crossing and I like
and then Lefty
fun
said,
stuff. But at the same time, I'm lazy, so I don't want to do it anymore. I did it once, been there, done that, tried 9 times, failed, and tried 1 time, got it done.
Lefty said, did someone say purple? Shut up and take my money.
Oh.
That's exactly how I am.
And I entered purple shrimp. Like a lot of people are like, oh no, it's photoshopped and stuff like that. So I entered them in the first Aquashella American Shrimp Contest in Dallas. So I have actual awards with the purples. However, they do not breed true at all. There's a lot of colors. I got a lot of maroon and not really purple, if you know what I mean.
Kind of like a brown, purple.
I got a lot of sun today. I'm acting weird.
No, this is just normal.
We got a freak weird storm too. It broke my umbrella. Like 70-mile-an-hour winds out of nowhere. All right, number 7 on the list. We got tigers crossed with bee shrimp. So a bee shrimp is going to be anything bee related, purely bees, though. So crystals are all bees, and Taiwan bees are all bees, and that's about it, because those are your only pure ones that you're going to have. And basically, if you can take Mischlings, those are also a pure bee, but they're basically a crystal shrimp that just has Taiwan bees. So those are the only ones that you can use for this cross. And then you cross those with Tiger Cardina Maria, and that is going to be your base run-of-the-litter tibees. So my favorite one, since this is a top 10 of my favorites, I'm going to give you pure red line crossed with red tiger shrimp. They're both pure bee, pure tiger, and when I crossed them, I was expecting to get any water, like more water than that at a faster rate. But
You'll just get the hiccups.
yeah, probably. Lost.
You're talking about basic one of the real
Oh, all right. Tibees.
run of the mill.
Then crossing. Oh, you would expect to get all red and white tibees. However, no, for whatever reason, the blue body inside of the red tiger shrimp actually had, splotches of black pigment, and that was dominant, and that took over. And on F1, I got all black tibees for my cross. But then F2, when I removed the crystals and the red tigers out of the equation, I did end up getting some reds. I got some really neat patterns, and this is also like the fast track if you keep selective breeding. And I said Cardina Maria for a reason. If you keep breeding this further down the line, several generations, like 5 or 6 at least, and that's if you're being diligent and very strict on which males and females you're going to keep. Then you can make the fancy tigers. And a fancy tiger is basically just a tibee where it has 0 gaps in pigment, and then you get your high grades by adding more dots on the head, more stripes on the body. Back to you, Shelby.
Welcome in, Stephen P.
How's it going, man? I think I'm going up against Stephen P. in the Creators Contest at Aquashella Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw your email tagged in the UNS messages.
And Crypt Keeper said, Purple Metallic Nancy are my bucket list to get.
Yeah, I like the purple, the red purples, and I might be able to get my hands on a good group of those.
We have some red.
I do. I just don't have enough.
Yeah.
I want like a good group, and I swear, like all of mine are males. So
yeah,
I
they're
might
really
just snag
small.
some juveniles. Hope I get some females and keep my best males.
Dr. Anthony said purple's his favorite color too. Yes, love purple shrimp.
It's all right.
It's the best.
Green's a little better, but I mean, a green and purple rilli shrimp would be like end game for sure, with like bright pink eyes.
And Shane said, can't wait till my yellows get here. Those were shipped out.
Were they?
Mm-hmm.
Was that not the one that goes out tomorrow?
Oh, you said Tuesday. We ship those out tomorrow.
Got you, man.
Maybe. Is it?
Off the top of my head, I know somebody's going out Tuesday, and it's a bigger
Yellows.
order of yellows.
But there was several yellow orders today, and I'm pretty sure Shane.
They were on sale. They were the shrimp of the week. And speaking of the shrimp of the week, the yellows are actually still on sale. I forgot to take them off. But thanks to Crypt Keeper, I forgot, because we're already on that with the tibees themselves. The red tibees are on sale. And yes, they will be Cardina Maria. So if you want to selectively breed them out to be fancy tigers, well, you can go ahead and do that. They're on sale on the website right now. They are the Mopo lineage from Germany. And it's a cheap deal to get some Joyman genetics.
Hello, Scott's Aquatics. Thank you, Jamie and Crip, for posting some Paige is here. I almost went past them. Membership, getting
12
a
years
free
and she
sticker.
still laughs at my jokes. She really has to
Thank you,
try
Guppy,
sometimes.
for Guppy Grass. Threw me all off. Hello, Max. Said, can't wait for Aquashella. We are so excited too.
Definitely waiting for the shrimp contest to fill up. I'm thinking I don't have a live registration of the shrimp contest because it hasn't registered, and I've had like a couple of people like, yeah, we entered, and I trust them. They're trustworthy people. So I'm thinking there's more than the people that we have entered in the contest. But I have gone through and asked, quite a few breeders, hey, why aren't you entering in the contest? Part of the reason is heat. I am not having any issues with shipping right now in these temperatures, and we're in Florida and it's hot. I mean, it has been brutal these last few weeks for sure, and we haven't had any issues with DOA or reshipping anything. No refunds, that's for sure. We have somebody right now that's got a package that was shipped out last Monday, still not here. Updated last in Ybor. That's very rare. They're worried. It's like 20 wilds and a bunch of other neos. I'm like, you need to not worry about them things. They can survive hurricanes, and as long as they're not sitting on your porch in the sun, they're going to be fine. But of course, as long as you send us a picture of what they look like within an hour, we'll take care of it. So you getting a little anxious with me?
Yep, for sure. Hello, only Oscars. I feel like we're so far behind in chat that you're stressing me out.
We have a topic that we're talking about tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go on.
All right. Now, since we just talked about the tibees, starting out is it number 5 on the list? I believe so. Number 5 on the list, when you cross a tibee with a Taiwan bee, that is when you get the tibees. And yeah, that's really confusing. Like, why did they make it like that? But when you do this cross exactly, not all the shrimp come out with the double shadow pigment. And to me, that's just like mislabeling. It's just not right. I don't think that's how all of the tibees should be labeled. So if we could get every single shrimp breeder all across the world right now in this live stream so we could all agree on this standard and set it across, that would be perfect. However, not a single person jumped in chat, so that's not going to happen. But if it were to happen, then we can set that standard, but it's just not. So till then, it's my standard, but everything that comes out of that cross is technically a tibee. But to me, if it doesn't have the double pigment, it's not that special, so why call it something else? But this is where your pintos come from, your blue steels. It's a tibee. Everything that looks like it has the two-tone, real thick shell from a black or a red King Kong, chances are those are a tibee. So those are basically, one of the best crosses to make. It's not, any specific or anything like that, but because it does have its own name and its own classification, I thought for sure it should be on a list. I listed off a couple, and some of them are going to appear back up on the screen, but I'll explain that why. Back to you, Shelby.
So Guppy B said, I have orange dwarf crayfish just started breeding. And like an idiot, I add orange neos to the tank, and they're breeding as well. Any advice on getting the shrimp out? Too much orange. Little guessing game.
I would just remove the crawfish out and then go for the other crawfish as they grow up, because the guessing game would be too much for me. Yeah, I couldn't give you a trap that's not going to catch the shrimp and the crayfish, or like a method that's not going to be like you catching them all and then putting them back. So to me, I would grab the adults from the crayfish, because shrimp are going to breed a lot smaller, and chances are there's always going to be a buried female hiding in the tank somewhere that you don't see.
50%. Go splash that like button. Jamie warned you. I'll get Grant and Shelby to start a shrimp apocalypse with their space shrimp. Oh, and then Frank, of course, asked you about the UFC this Saturday that he missed.
I missed it. Who starts UFC fights on 2 o'clock on Saturdays? People have orders to get out by 2 o'clock, and then they just want to get other water changes and other things done. And I didn't think the UFC's fights would start until 8 o'clock. And I turned on and I saw Brian Ortega like, oh, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, oh, God.
He's like
So
screaming.
yeah. And then there was another fight I wanted to watch. I can't remember his name. Yair or something like that. And that looked like a really good fight. Sad I missed it, but I'll make sure I know the times for next weekend.
Welcome in, Michelle.
How's it going? So hold on, while we're talking about shrimp contests, Michelle entered the contest with her crystal shrimp like she did last year.
Nice.
And I think she did at Orlando too. I know she won an award at one of them, right?
Yeah.
So she posted some lovely shrimp out on the shrimp pimping group on Facebook. And I was like, I didn't know you had those. And she had some really nice Taiwan bees, 2 different types, I think mosuras and Red King Kongs. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we are probably going to be low on Taiwan bees as well as tiger shrimp. So as long as you bred these shrimp yourself, you did it. You did all the hard work, because there's nothing to be done from point A to point B like you're going to make the Taiwan bees or the tiger shrimp any better. The hardest part is going to be breeding them from the shrimp you very first got, because from there, after you get babies, those babies are already acclimated to your parameters from birth. They're going to grow up in your tank a lot faster. They're going to give birth, and they're going to give birth a lot more babies a lot quicker and live a lot longer, et cetera, et cetera. So you've already done the hard work. If you got first generation babies from shrimp you bought, you can enter them in the contest. Don't feel bad, because other people are doing it also.
Hello, Leo. And then we got Lefty said, I'll have to write down the parameters of the empty tanks and we can see what y'all think will work best in them.
Low pH, Tangerine Tigers. High pH, we'll do any color Neo. I know your favorite color is blue. I think I sent you the blue diamonds. They're less culling and look a little bit better blue, but I can send you some blue dreams and they'll throw off some sky blue colors and stuff like that. By the way, Wednesday, Blue Dream versus Blue Diamond video coming out on the channel. If you're not subscribed, you're going to be missing out.
And Steven said, don't worry, I'm not strong competition.
Oh, no. Can't put it like that. I'll be distracted. Me and Shelby got into the Fluvial Aquascape contest also. So when I go to do the UNS skate contest, I'll have to be pulled away from them, and I'll have to like run back and forth to double check to make sure everything's still going to plan.
Crypt Keeper asked, how many purple shrimp tanks do you have?
5. And not a lot of purple in each one. The purple is not a very, very stable gene, and I didn't go out and buy like a whole colony of purples. I bought like 3 purples my whole life, and then the rest of them we made from scratch. I'm getting to that too. More purples coming.
Hello, Ruben.
What's up, man? Talking about Aquashella. We got Ruben in the house. He'll be entering some shrimp, and I'll be hanging out with him and hopefully doing a update tour on his house. That was a great setup, and I think he's like doubled it, so I can't wait to see that. And that discus tank.
So only Oscars. I am assuming that you are the one that we refund shipping to because we put all the order into one box.
If the mailman came 5 minutes before you placed that order, you would not have gotten the refund. But if I already have your box, and also I messed up my neck and back on Friday, and I wasn't able to get everybody's box out on Saturday. So yours was delayed, and we also upgraded you to the free Soy Ahoy because your 2 orders were over $100. So because of that, you got it in just in time to be shipped out in one box. I caught your emeralds at the end of the day, Besides that, Shelby did the rest of your box. So if something's wrong, I know nothing's wrong. You have nothing to worry about. How many boxes do you do for me every single week? And I've had maybe one person say, "Hey, this was wrong." One person.
That one was so bad. I mean, you could tell when someone's overworked when they put the completely wrong shrimp in a cup that had the right shrimp written on it.
Meanwhile, I've sent the same person the wrong shrimp twice. And they're such a great customer that they're like, these are really nice shrimp. Can I just buy these too? And still bought the other shrimp that I was supposed to send them. So it's like,
we're only human.
Shelby is like definitely the person you want handling your orders because she makes sure. I
did get more expensive shrimp too. Oh, and my favorite shrimp. Like I hate selling the raccoons, so don't order them. They're mine. I'm just kidding.
We have 3 tanks of the raccoons.
I know, and I can have 40 tanks of the raccoon.
I was going to put your raccoons in the top left tank.
Sounds perfect.
They look great on the brown substrate.
They are like the coolest. I don't know if you've seen my TikTok of them, but they are literally the craziest shrimp out of all the shrimp. Like a lot of them are like pretty chill and don't really move much and they'll do things, but those raccoons, they're feisty. They're gonna attack. They're like little mini tigers.
The Stardust are the same way. I want to pair those up and see if we can't get something across in this house interesting. And also, my hummels are starting to do really nice. I separated them into the top tank up there. I can't talk now. They're all doing good still. And then, like, I got enough that I could either if somebody wants 10 hummels, $250, you let me know. Other than that, I ain't letting them go.
Hello, Silver Creek Aquarist. He said, "Oh, sweet, a different live stream today. Glad to be here." Ooh.
Glad you're here with us. Again, everybody has any questions, we are zipping through the list here a little fast. So you want a shrimp cross, I will, ignore any questions or let you know that I'll be talking about it here in the near future on my list. If it's something on crosses I haven't talked about yet, but what's up?
He said a couple of the yellows are already buried up.
'Tis the season. The space program wanted all large, non-pregnant shrimp, and I was like, this is not the right time of the year for that.
Shane said, yes, mine were shipped out today. We'll pick them up at post office. Yes. Okay. So I knew this one. Yes, I marked it. And you have a message from us through the website. So I don't know how those come, if they come in email or what. I don't know how that works. Hello, Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics. We have not seen you in a while. If you can email us at granteater@gmail.com, I will get your free member sticker out to you. You're one of those people that we never got to send one out to.
So if you're a member to the channel, you get a free membership sticker. It is custom. You only can get it if you're a member to the channel. It also comes with a 10% off discount code to our site, tgoeshrimp.com. What are you laughing about now?
That's so funny. Let's go. Keep going.
And for $1.99, you can get 10% off a $100 order. It pays for itself. So
look at that. Crib Keeper's on it. It's got the page for the shrimp contest. Thank you so much, Crib Keeper.
And we got a new member right there if you just want to jump to that.
Oh, he wasn't a member. Did I just pressure him? And he said it was already a member. I got.
Or maybe they are one of the people that unsubbed, because I swear you read it out too.
Yeah, I already had it nice and written out for you. That's weird. Well, thank you for renew. We're just not there yet. We don't know anything about this. He said how to do. I'm sorry if I pressured you into that. Now I feel really bad.
You could have just emailed us for the free sticker. You would have gotten it.
Right. It was still showing you. That's strange. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You get your member video too.
And I still want Shelby to work on that when she gets a chance. But we've been so busy. Don't expect anything to change until after Dallas. I think we're going to get this video out for the difference between Blue Dream and Blue Diamond. and maybe, just maybe,
How did it not show this?
the breeding outdoors on the Cardina. But
Stop talking. Killer Kitty gave us a $2 super sticker.
are
Thank
they paying
you.
super stickers to make me shut up now? Is that what it is? Is it code to that already?
Please. No, we missed it. It didn't show it, so I'm very mad about that. And I had to make sure that it was taken care of right away. Continue.
Should I continue on the list then? All right. So number 4 on the list. This is kind of, my all-time favorite color is green. And to make green tigers, my favorite cross is going to be the Aurora Blue Tigers with the yellow King Kongs. You could also use Tangerine Tigers. However, the green seems to come out a little bit nicer when using the yellow King Kong rather than the Tangerine Tigers. The Tangerine Tiger gene is so strong. That orange will come through with vengeance time and time again. And for that reason, the Tangerine Tiger is probably used to make Yellow King Kong. I have made some very similar shrimp with my cross that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. But it was a Tangerine Tiger cross and came out yellow, solid yellow, doesn't have any stripes or anything like that, but several generations down the line. And then crossing that back with the other line, I'm starting to get Tangerine Tigers again. That is how strong the Tangerine Tiger gene is. It will come back to haunt you if you don't get it out of there. So if you don't have to start with it, pick something else. In this case, Aurora Blue, Tangerine Tiger, or Yellow King Kong to make the green apple tigers. But if you want to be just green tigers, you use the Yellow King Kong. Green apple is with the Tangerine Tiger. So that's the difference right there. And the nicer blue that you can possibly use for the original cross, the better the green. And for whatever reason, F1 is going to be the nicest green coloration that I've ever gotten from trying this. I do get some that look, really green on some of my other crosses where I cross them with the royal blue tigers with the orange eyes, but I just kind of did that to make the orange eye. The royal blue isn't really coming out or anything like that, but I am getting some deeper greens. So I don't know if that's helping out. So, but that is a fun cross altogether. I'll talk more about the orange eye here in a second.
Welcome to the team, Shane. Yeah, it does need to go on longer. It's just, it's just unexciting. It just stops.
It's a good start, though. It's a great start. You pointed out today that you didn't go to school for any of this, so it's all self-taught. So you'll look back on this in a year and be like, ha.
So Dee said those red tibees are pretty, for sure.
Yeah, and they can end up to turn into a bunch of cool different shrimp too. So there's Nanashi and other things that can come out of that line. I just didn't want to talk about it.
Hello, Scott's Aquatics. And I think I said hello already, but hello, Ron.
How's it going, Ron? What's up, man?
So excited for that.
I see him usually on Facebook. Have we seen him here in live chat?
I think so.
I don't read chat too much, so she says hi to Ron. I don't realize it's.
Oh, Crib Keeper put our tie bees here, beautiful backline ones.
Yeah, so those are coming up here in a second.
So Lefty said, do you think you'll ever carry and attempt to breed bamboo shrimp?
So I think I mentioned this in our last stream or something like that. And I talked about this on Skipper's stream the other night, where we really want to be like this farm to table style, pet store. But the bamboo shrimp and the Amano shrimp are all wild caught in the hobby. There's nobody that actually breeds them and then sells them to distributors and then gets them out to the masses. They're like a freshwater shrimp that is bred in fresh water, and then the stream takes it, brings it into the salty water. Oh, I didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry.
I was gonna bite you.
And when it goes out into the salt water, there's phytoplankton and other things that the larvae live off of, and then they grow up to be strong enough that they turn in and morph into little shrimps. And as they grow up, they make their way up the freshwater rivers, so that way they can give birth, and the whole cycle starts all over again. So to do that in freshwater, you have to take them, raise them in fresh, get them to berry up, and then when they have eggs, you got to wait for the eggs to hatch, and then you got a very short time before you got to move those eggs into brackish or salt water. Then you have to feed them the phytoplankton or green water, or it's a lot of work for $3 or $4.
Too long. This just sounds like way too much work.
So and you need several different tanks, and don't get me wrong, it's something I want to accomplish. I want to do one day, but is it something I'm ever gonna like? I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try and crack the code, but right now I don't have enough time. If Jaden and Layla grow up and they can take over everything, and I can be like that mad scientist in the garage with a project once a year, I'll probably do this. But I had the guy over here in the house, and he's like, "Man, it seems like you're extra crazy on going all out on projects lately, even more than you have been in past years." And I'm like, no, it's just because I didn't have time to post anything. And now Shelby's like, hey, I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to post it. And then, oh, should I take this for you too? And I'm like, yeah, please. And so because of her, I'm getting a lot more done on the social scene.
Which is funny because I post absolutely nothing on my own Facebook.
But you do a lot on your TikTok. If you haven't checked out her TikTok yet, t.g.o.e.Shelby_K on TikTok.
I did make that a little complicated.
I don't know why.
Oh, I can change it. And welcome in, Killer Kitty. I know I said thank you for the super sticker. I didn't say welcome in. I had to change that.
Do we have Killer Kitties sent out?
Yeah.
You sure? I thought that was another one that was not emailed us. Oh no, they emailed us last week. No, I sent those out. I sent them out.
Oh, after I found the stamps?
No, I went and bought stamps, and then you found the stamps. That's how everything works.
Oh, good. Ruben said, "What is a dragon's blood?"
All right, so dragon's blood could be two things, if you ask me. You ask anybody else, they might tell you it's only one thing. But when I started shrimp keeping on the shrimp spot, there's really nice extreme red King Kongs that were coming around that got so red, deep maroon, that they actually turned out black. That black was called dragon's blood. And they were red dragons or red dragon blood Taiwan bees, and they were in the hot. I'm not talking. Anyways,
so eyeballs to stay in my.
It's just revenge and karma because I can't see out of my left eye for whatever reason now. Just anytime Shelby, does something and it pokes me in the face, it goes right for the left eye. So I know what I was talking about. So I call dragon's blood, referring to that as well when I'm describing the red Tai bees or red King Kong. So the other one is going to be the blue dragon's blood, which is a calcio, and I couldn't tell you how to make the calcios. I can assume it's a mutation from a super crystal red shrimp because one of the breeders in southern North Carolina, Robert, he bred out his super crystals and ended up getting some calcio looking shrimp, or the other way around. He bred out the calcios and got some super red crystals. I can't remember which one it was, but because of that, I think that the crystals are not pure and neither are the calcios, or maybe they came from there or whatever. But at the same time, I'm maybe thinking it was super crystals crossed with the yellow King Kong. Was it selective bred over generations? I don't know what it was. Go for it, and I'll talk about the next phase.
Welcome, Lefty.
And then when you get the red calcios, another one maybe it was from the original cross, but because red is more, popular in the shrimp hobby, especially overseas in Asia, they probably came out first, and then the blacks were probably maybe from the original cross or whatever, but they came later. But when you cross the red calcio and the black calcio, you can get blues, or you can get blue just from breeding out the blacks. So maybe it's like a really low grade black that the blue comes out of, and then that was selected bred. Unlike the Taiwan bees that have the double pigment, maybe it's possible with the dragon's blood because they don't have the double pigment. It's just one.
Lefty said it was a nice segue plug for the video. That blue diamonds are next. So Killer Kitty said, I don't know if this has been asked, but how many generations do you have to breed to enter them into a shrimp contest?
Just the first generation. As long as the shrimp that you enter in the contest were not ones that you purchased, they were ones that bred inside of your tank or born inside of your tank. They have to be born, like legit, actually hatched in the tank. Sorry, that's a little like hard stroke. I'm so happy to be born here. Well, you have to actually be there. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Anthony, and have a good night.
Later, man. I'm really excited for him to come do a talk. He's probably long gone. We're so far behind in chat.
All right. Michelle said thank you. Yeah, we went fast. Killer Kitty doesn't want to get caught at your job, I'm assuming. Oh. So Jamie said, so you're saying if you order some wilds when Shelby just got off her last day of work for the week that you may get some boas? No. I'm not allowed to touch the boa tank.
I mean, she's allowed to feed the boa tank.
Feed it. That's about it.
But
literally, that's it. And that's maybe.
You still have like some of the nicest shrimp in the house.
Yeah, don't touch them. They're all mine.
It's not like they're just the boas are mine. I work on those. There's certain tanks that she works on, and then there's certain tanks that
they weren't that big of a price difference. It's for some reason we sold several packages of raccoons, and we hadn't sold cheetahs for like a month. And someone ordered cheetahs, and I'm just assuming, yeah, everyone wants raccoons. So I just go and grab raccoons, sent them, and I couldn't believe I sent the wrong shrimp. He's like, you sent them this? I was like, no, there's no way I did that. There's no way I did
what
it.
tank you catch
and
them
she
out
sent
of?
a
And
picture.
She said, what tank? I was like, that's the raccoon tank.
The lady sent a picture of them in the bag, and I'm like, yeah, those are raccoons. Why would I send raccoons when they ordered cheetahs? Like,
the good thing about raccoon shrimp, though, they don't crossbreed with anything, and then we ended up sending the shrimp that she wanted. So
yeah,
it was all good. And I think they wanted raccoons too, just they weren't ready for it yet. The cheetah shrimp are like a wild type serrata shrimp. They're kind of like with a backline. They're a little iridescent, I guess, depending on like what kind of lights you have. They could be a little purplish in color, but not really. You have to have the purple lights for them to shine that way. But a lot of nice little green and orange hues to them.
They're beautiful. He's really downplaying. They're really pretty.
They're on the freaking list, though.
Okay. Do you want to? And Michelle says, I want to see Ruben set up too. Yeah, we got to make another trip back. You've done a lot of upgrades since the last time we were there, so hopefully we get to see and hang out again. That was cool. But you can go on to your next one.
All right, next one on the list, and it is the next one on the list. Cheetahs crossed with red steels. So,
that's the one I would say was the coolest here.
It's all right, and it's kind of a lame cross. I'll give it that. It doesn't really produce anything like really nice. I don't know what it'll do in the long game. I'm only like 3 generations in with this cross, playing around with it. Cheetah shrimp being one of the newer shrimp into the hobby. Not a lot of people have done crosses that I know of. I know Andrew Wayne crossed his with Snow Whites and calls his like snow leopards or something. I'm like, why not snow cheetahs? I don't know. But
they look well.
So I crossed ours with the red steels, and when you cross shrimp, a lot of the times you're gonna get like 2 or 3 different variations. And by that, I mean, like, you'll get 1 or 2 different colors that are going to come out. Some of them will look solid, some of them will look stripes, and everything in between. So it's like you're not really getting too much out of that cross. However, with the cheetah cross with the red steels, I have never seen more phenotypes in first generation than anything else by far. I got solid black shrimp. I got red steels, obviously, blue steels. And I shouldn't say obviously, because when you cross a steel back with a tiger shrimp, you don't really expect to get more steels out of those. And then we got your normal run-of-the-mill tibees. And then we also got some with thick, and I'm talking thick backline, like real nice fishbone, and like just so many different kinds of shrimp that you just don't see out of F1 crosses. So for that reason, if you're looking for something to have a lot of fun with, that was just an insane amount of phenotypes out of one cross.
And just so you know, with these, fun fact, but Grant did those without even telling me that he was doing them. And like, I feed the shrimp with them, but there's a lot of tanks I just glaze right over because, there's not that many in the tank. It's just not interesting. I'm exhausted because usually we feed the shrimp like 9 o'clock at night and I'm ready to go to bed. And it takes us about an hour to feed the whole house, if not longer sometimes. Give or take an hour.
We're getting faster on it now, but then we added the 100 tank rack where we have to get 2 ladders out to feed them.
That gets in a little irritating.
An extra 5 minutes
but
at least.
Anyways, so one day I was looking in the tank and we had to start feeding it more and more, and it was just packed to the brim. And I was just like looking at it, I'm like, where did these shrimp come from? What are these? And he's like, well, I crossed this. And I'm like, what? You crossed these 2 shrimp? And I'm like, these are really neat. I mean, they're not like, I love my galaxies. Obviously, they're gorgeous in color and they're deep and everyone's going to love them. But these ones are just so neat looking. They're just the variety in them just makes it different.
And I forgot to mention how hardy and how freaking much these things breed. They breed like ants. And not just the cross itself, the cheetah shrimp. They bred. I've crossed them with ghost bees to make more zebra ghost bees, and those 3 tanks of our crosses are 3 of our best breeding tanks in the house. And then the 2 cheetah tanks that we just set up are really nice. And then I'm doing some moss cleaning in one of the new tanks on the new rack. And now we have a 3rd cheetah tank. And I'm like, I really don't need a 3rd cheetah tank because they breed so fast. But then Alex does a video and gets some cheetahs. And then I'm like, why are all of these cheetah sales coming out of nowhere? And it's because Alex will do a live stream and then share off the cheetahs and how iridescent they are under his lights. And then I'm like, oh, all right, that makes sense.
So Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics said that they're always around, just not able to chat sometimes, and that it was okay. Just reminded to renew. Thank you. We appreciate it.
We appreciate the support.
We got a question, though. So welcome in Quiet Money. Said, hey, guys, great shrimp so far. Is crossing a raccoon shrimp with a black King Kong shrimp a good idea?
It's a great idea if you can get it to happen. So I have 2 tanks of Bustin Yellow King Kong hybrids. Like, these things have more females than you know what to do with. They are putting the cheetahs to shame on the best breeders in the house, probably. They do a good number, and I'm able to find, a buried female or a saddled female that isn't buried. And I've been just throwing them into the raccoon tanks, just hoping one of these raccoons will find them pretty enough to have babies with. But when I first did it, I ended up having, like, a week later into it, I had a Yellow King Kong female bury up, and then I waited and waited and waited, and finally the eggs were gone. Then I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and even longer waited for babies to come up, and nothing ever came out that was even different than a raccoon. Nothing yellow, nothing. So I'm like, all right, she wasn't retaining sperm or anything like that. So I think what might have happened was like the whole mule thing where they might be able to breed and then they might not necessarily be able to have a baby. And if they do have babies, will they even be able to breed? So I was talking to my turtle buddy about that because like what is it? Mollies and swords can breed, but then the babies come out and they're like mules that they won't breed themselves. So um, I'm worried that's a possibility. However, I do currently have another yellow King Kong that is pregnant yet again. So we're gonna find out. But there's like 3 or 4 yellow King Kong females in each tank, and neither one of them are, or only the one is buried, I should say.
Right. So. And Shane said, yep, needed that shrimp badge to become a member. Good people asked, is there any orange-eyed gene shrimp where none of the body genetics are super dominant? Also, I've seen orange-eyed, orange gene, and white gene. What are those base shrimp genetics?
All right, because that is white or orange and white gene. The orange eyes are at the top of my list here, so I'm not going to give out all that yet. But is there an orange-eyed gene where none of the body genetics are super dominant? No, not that I can think of. Maybe the tibees, like orange-eyed tibees and like F1, but it's still going to be like black dominant. So it's going to be a lot of work to get that out. But I'll talk about the orange and white gene later.
Welcome in, Gary.
And Gary, it's one week notice tomorrow. I was probably going to give you a phone call. Just a heads up.
Guppy Beast, have you looked into breeding any saltwater shrimp or kept any saltwater tanks?
I think we had like a goal stream earlier in the year on what we wanted to accomplish, and I believe one of my goals was to set up a saltwater tank by the end of the year. We originally set up a saltwater tank many moons ago for Shelby for her birthday. She wanted upside down jellyfish. We did all the research, looked everything up, set up a tank, and by the time everything was done, the pet store couldn't get us upside down jellyfish. So we didn't want the tank to go to waste. We ended up doing corals, and because it was a nano tank, because we didn't really know what we were getting into, it didn't do too well. I would love to do like 60, 75 gallons or bigger if we're going to jump into a saltwater tank. Do it out in the garage so I don't have to worry about salt leak or anything like that. Salt kind of smells. Like Shelby hates the smell of our Opa-Ula tank. And she opens it up and she's like, oh, it smells so bad in there. And I'm just like, it smells like the Keys. It smells like when you walk around saltwater beaches and stuff like that. So it's probably why our house smells so clean, is because like it's all fresh water. Everything has lids. We AC the house to 72. It's not very humid in here. I think if we did salt, that would change the house.
Welcome in, Glass Box Gardens. I feel like that's a song.
Should I do?
Sorry.
Oh.
So Robert said, I think those old Red King Kong Dragon Bloods are why the new Red Calcio Dragon Bloods are called Red Scorpions.
Maybe. But I just think it was like a naming gimmick, and Scorpion sounds real cool. And yeah, I don't know. But he got very upset with me when I called the other shrimp dragons blood. So maybe he didn't himself, but I remember a bunch of European breeders being upset. I'm like, there's like documentation like years before Yui came out with them that other people were using the name already. But again, dragon's blood sounds real cool. It's enticing. I think that's why Scorpion was used.
Do blue bolts have any black genetics? I get the odd black head blue body.
Yeah, so a blue bolt is a Taiwan bee. All Taiwan bees share the same genes, and if you bred them out, you can breed the blue bolts out to be fairly true. We have a line of blue bolts that we have been breeding for eight, maybe almost 9 years now. But I say fairly true because 1 in 1,000, like very low amount of numbers, I will get and its odd black head, blue body. That is the shadow mosura, and that is just, it comes out no matter how hard I cull. Like, I don't get them to breed, and I've even moved my mosura into their own tank and gotten those to breed, and they'll throw both mosura and blue bolts. But they don't give shadow pandas or anything like that. I thought they would, but very true breeding in the sense that they don't give too much black. They have the same genes.
Thank you so much, DJ Owen. Get the money, Shrimp.
I feel like we need turntables on it now just for him. And Eddie. I mean, Eddie's a DJ too. So,
how many generations does it take to breed out the backline on certain shrimp varieties? I'm referring to the green emerald shrimp I bought from you.
So to breed it out, do you have backline on the emeralds? Because there's some people that maybe got lucky and got them out of the tank where I'm breeding backlines. And the thing with the backline is not all shrimp will show it until they're very old. Some shrimp won't even show it until they're fully grown into maturity, and out of nowhere will come a backline. So it's something that can develop later on. So it's kind of hard to tell. Selling the shrimp smaller than I want to. The green emeralds are like on fire. They're one of the most popular shrimp, and I just can't keep up with them. So I've got 2 IBC totes and a barrel, a 55-gallon tank, and for whatever reason, the dumb 7.5-gallon Fluvail tank breeds the most emeralds out of any tank possible.
I think it's because we have it almost like a natural ecosystem in that with the
I'm also breeding
freshwater isopods
and
Cardina.
Yellow King Kongs in Neocardina parameters on sea roof stone as well. So
yeah, unheard of.
But if you want to remove it, it is one of the hardest things to do. Several generations, if you're even able to do it, because when I first got in the hobby, yellow neos without the backline were quite common. Now it's almost like gone because some people wanted it, some people don't. So the people that didn't have it crossed the ones into it, left them in the lines too long, and because it's a dominant gene, they couldn't separate the non-backlines out. So if you can get non-backline Yellow King, regular yellow neos, let me know. I'll buy them. It's on my list of stuff I want.
Brandon asks, what's the difference between blue bolts and blue steels?
All right. So a blue bolt is a oh, that's what I did. All right, so I'm out of order. I meant to move the arrow down, so I skipped number 6. So going back to number 6 for Brandon. Thank you for reminding me. I was like, I swear this was on my list. Like, how did I not bring this up? I see it. I see what I did now. I altered some things, forgot that I altered them. So number 6, blue bolt crossed with tangerine tiger. And I'm using tangerine tigers for one reason. You can also use Aurora blue tigers to make blue steels or red steels. But tangerine tigers are a little bit hardier. They breed a little bit quicker, and they kind of pass that on to their offspring. So when breeding out the Aurora blues, it's just a lot of work in order to get them to take off. They will eventually, take off just like the tangerines. But for the first 2 or 3 generations, it's very slow breeding unless you use the tangerines. And because the blue bolts are so strong and dominant gene as well, it only takes 2 generations to make blue bolts from blue steels. You will, and tangerine tigers, you will get a lot of red steels, but you can take the blue bolts themselves, separate those out, and get those to breed fairly true. And like I said, fairly true. You might get 1 out of 30 red steels that come out. So that is the quickest way to make blue steels. You can use the Auroras, but before you're at your second generations with the Auroras, I probably already have blue steels. Challenge accepted.
Did you answer his question though?
What's the difference? Blue bolts are pure Taiwan bees. Blue steels are genetically hybrids with the Tangerine tigers. The serrata gene is kind of what gives them the speckles. But not all of them have the speckles. And for that reason, some blue bolts look exactly like blue steels and vice versa. So unless you know the genes, you breed them out. Blue steels can throw some crazy blues, which are like real splotchy, kind of like crystal patterns or really deep, really pattern variations, some backlines even on the crazy blues, where you won't get backlines, you won't get any green pigment on pure blue bolts.
All right. Dee Dee said, will the Wednesday night stream be on your channel this week?
Yes, it is. And we will have a guest speaker this week. I'm not sure who exactly it is. I will need to make a phone call tomorrow to solidify that.
So I can get that cover photo going.
Yeah, the cover photo is going to be the same regardless. Oh, maybe not. I guess.
And Scotty said, be sure to check out Shelby and Grant on my channel this Saturday at 7. Remember, Grant, 7.
It's on my list. I have it written down the right way. I was gonna say 7:30 just to joke around with it, but I was like, no, I'm not going.
He literally said it in another stream. I don't even think you were watching that one, Scotty.
No. I said it right on the stream right before the last time, and then it got canceled because of fireworks.
Welcome in, Matt said, I'm a dummy head. I broke the check live script today, so I didn't even realize you were live. Here now. That was a while ago now.
Well, nice
like
of
20
you to
minutes
join us,
ago.
man. Here before the hour mark. That's all that matters.
Hello, Nano Aquarium guy. Welcome in.
What's up, man? See, Nano's late too. You can't feel that bad.
Hello, Skipper Aquariums, because the other stream is streaming too. So after the 1 hour, seems a lot of people.
And they had Corey on there, so I see where all y'all loyalties at.
Oh, and Steven said the notification came through 2 minutes ago. Mine are terrible. I don't get notifications at all.
I was on. Who was the last stream that I did? Oh, with Skipper, right? That was the last one I did.
Yeah.
And literally, the notification came up while I was doing the stream, right before we were signing off, and I was like, "Man, what?"
Oh, I think I skipped that. Hello, Skipper. He said, "Well, maybe it."
I thought you already said hi to him.
I don't know.
If not, what's up, man?
I'm tired.
I think maybe you said hi to Scotty, and then that's what's happened.
I don't know. Crypt Keeper asks, ever cross cheetahs with anything else? Any other exciting outcomes?
Just the ghost bees, and like I don't know if you do the whole like Pokemon thing, and you ever did like the breeding with Ditto, and you can use Ditto to like make and breed other Pokemon. Well, yeah, I kind of thought maybe the ghost bees would be very similar to that, and they kind of are because they don't throw any other patterns or colors out there. But it did bring out a lot of the green pigments in the cheetahs, and so I could select a breed and make some green cheetahs from crossing them. I just haven't had enough room or time to do anything else, and because I used the red steel, there's so many different genetics in the red steels from the Taiwan bees and the serrata genes that I have almost everything in there except for the orange-eyed Cardina Maria, which I will do.
Misfits, Reptiles, and Aquatics said, just curious, what strains are put together to make the Purple Galaxy? Aquatic Arts had some a while back, and I've been in love with them ever since.
All right. And that brings us to number 2 on the list. It's perfect timing the way these are working out. Even though I missed some, it worked out. So now I just named the Blue Bolt with the Tangerine Tiger. The other cross that I like to do to make the blue steels is also the Auroras. The reason why I don't use the Auroras is because they're super slow breeding. However, there is a benefit to using them. And eventually, like I mentioned, they can come back and outbreed with vengeance. And it seems like the serrata gene inside of them is ignited or whatever. I don't know. Maybe the Aurora Blues that I have are just very stubborn and they don't like me and don't breed very much. But Aurora Blue crossed with any Taiwan bee is how you make the Galaxy Pintos. And for whatever reason, at the very start of the cross, because I've also used just as many Tangerine Tiger Taiwan bee cross tanks as I have Aurora Blue Taiwan bee tanks. I've got probably 10 of each. I've gone down each and every single road to the point where the back lines that I mentioned that I sold to Crypt Keeper come from this line. All of my crazy blues come from these lines. All of the purples that we've created in-house, the 4 tanks that we have, all come from this line. My confetti steels come from this, where I have the red and blue pigment, and they're like orange, and it looks like crap.
We haven't talked about that yet.
No, but one day
they'll
look better.
Don't say they look like crap.
They look like
they're cool.
Dookie. But yeah, so there's so many different things, but because the Auroras do end up with a lot more purples and in the end game crosses, and I'm talking this is going to be 8 generations of work. If you want to make purples and you do it sooner than 8 generations, sure, congratulations. But for me, it happened in a couple different tanks around 8 to 10 generations. So it's a lot of hard work. The price of purple shrimp have gone down significantly. They've gone from $450 to like $50 a piece. So they're a lot cheaper. It doesn't take as much work, but for that reason, those got second on the list. And like I said, they're like how you make galaxies. So if you selectively breed to make the galaxies, then from there you can make the snowflakes, you can make the boas, you can make the pythons. You name it, basically. That Serrata cross with Taiwan bee is how you make almost all the Nanashi, Nancy, Fancy, not Fancy, the Galaxy Tigers. Those are all stemmed from this cross.
Thank you so much, Johnny B, for the $5 super sticker. See, that one's like the perfect time.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's going to take me a minute to get back to where we were, so.
Oh.
Nope, I'm actually there.
All right, good, because I didn't have very much, and I kind of wanted to save the last one for a little bit. Dive back in here.
Crip said, is there any one shrimp you would declare as most useful or most commonly needed for most crossbreeding projects?
The Taiwan bee.
Really?
Because
for the better quality ones?
Name a shrimp, and you really can't make it without Taiwan bee. The Serrata gene is very important with making like Galaxy Pintos and stuff like that, but like because you don't need exactly Tangerine Tigers, or you could even do a red, or there's so many Serrata tigers in the hobby. Not only that, but like crossing with the Cardina Maria, you can make almost a lot of the same shrimp. You just don't have the backline. You can get zebra pintos with a lot more face dots that I bet you could eventually carry out to body spots if somebody spent the time and effort to do that. But it's so much quicker to just throw some Tangerine Tiger genes in that and get the body spots to come out. So,
but the orange eye.
But the orange eye is only, you know what I mean, so much to do with the orange eye.
But I love them, and then you wouldn't have things possible without them.
But the double pigment from the Taiwan bee.
Right.
I mean, it's great. You need a lot. The reason why we have so many great things in the hobby is there's so many players in the game that you could use to make something really cool.
Stephen P said, I feel like there's a lot of drama behind the scenes in the shrimp world.
There's too much. I don't understand why everybody's so cutthroat. I will forever advertise the Bloomfields as the nicest couple in the hobby. I mean, I don't see what they are like behind the scenes, but I know how me and Shelby treat each other, so I'm not going to give that title to us. But I wish there was somebody like them in every single state. There are so many people who are trying to buy and resell the product as fast as they can for a profit. And in the process, they lose like so much of themselves knowledge, and because of that, they can't pass it on to the consumer. And like, Gary, I need all of your secrets, all the ins and outs of all your fish, because like, I don't just want to sell your fish. I want to be able to sell the knowledge behind the fish also, because I'm not just selling live goods. I'm selling pets. I'm selling something that I want to go to a perfect home, or at least as perfect as the person can possibly give it. I know perfect means exact environmental conditions, but like, let's be honest, not everybody can accomplish that with a 10-gallon tank. But I mean, I think those people should be able to enjoy that beauty and do the best job they possibly can. And people just making a dollar as fast as they can, I think they lose that.
Yeah, but most people have good personalities. But yes, some people are just nice and not so nice.
I helped somebody else
certain
import
things.
and bring in their shrimp for 3 months while they redid their facility. And for 6 months, I had this other shrimp breeder competitor constantly telling people that I was importing and selling. And I'm like, before I helped this guy, I was the biggest home breeder in the United States. Because I helped this guy, I'm not all of a sudden not the biggest home breeder in the United States. I still am. I'm still doing that. I just was helping this guy out at the same time. So they're very cutthroat. And that same guy tanked the price of yellow King Kongs from $10 down to $3 in like no time.
Jamie said, my whole green jade tank has turned into yellow backlines.
Yeah, well, the green jades are going to have the backlines. And I mean, that's why a lot of people like the green jades over the green emeralds. The people that like the forest dark green like the emeralds more. And then there's people like me that want the best of both worlds, and I have to have it. So if you didn't want it, DJ Owen, and you ended up with the backlines, I'm sorry. It's
Jamie.
my art. No, Jamie didn't get my
Oh.
shrimp. DJ Owen. If I'm wrong,
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
No.
I believe I'm right. The kids just don't like to go to bed when we do live streams because I can't go in there and go to bed.
Big Dog said, do you do water change when you have baby shrimp in the tank?
Yes. If you have babies in the tank, please do not stop what you're doing. If you have pregnant females in the tank, do not stop what you're doing. They are doing really well in your tank because you're doing the water changes. And if you want them to continue doing that and you want the babies to survive, you need to continue doing water changes. But you don't want to alter the parameters. You need to make sure the water that you're putting into the tank is the same as the water in the tank already, or very, very close. And the best way to achieve this is by doing constant regular water changes and testing the water before you put it into the tank. If you're doing that and you have a lid on the tank, no issues. If you don't have a lid on the tank, then make sure you're topping off the tank with RO only water. And then that's all you got to do. Stay on top of things and you'll have not a lot of nice babies. In the beginning, Big Dog, you were like, hey, babies aren't surviving in my tank. I'm going to say you're not doing enough water changes, man. 20 to 40% every other week, or 10 to 20 every week. And that's going to be, you'll be producing and kicking out babies in no time. What are you looking at?
He said, so down here, hello, Jess, welcome in. Silver Creek Aquarius said, I found your doppelganger in the world of disc golf. You and Chris Dickerson, PDGA, touring pro, could be absolute twins.
Listen, I'll take that guy down in disc golf, no problem. I just never unlocked that. I'm like 2 Chainz. I've always had it in me. I'm just being stagnant. I could take that over anytime, but that would be too easy. So I play real golf like a man because it's hard. It's hard to play real golf. It pisses me off because I hit a perfect shot in the last hole. Why can't I do it on this one? But I can throw a Frisbee the same time every time. And I've proven that. I've hit somebody in the middle of a swimming pool with a kickboard. And when I got yelled at it, I just looked at the coach and I was like, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it if you tried. If I gave you 10 kickboards. I got out of that.
Anyone could have hit her
But
forehead.
she had a huge, I could have played handball off that forehead.
Oh,
It
man.
was a 6-hit.
And don't feel bad for us making fun of her. She was a mean person.
She's
She's very mean. She's very mean. She bullied me. Hello, Robert. Welcome in.
You were faster than her and younger. That's why. But she would like hydroplane on her forehead. It'd be crazy.
Hello, Houston. That's my brother, and he likes turtles. That's exactly how he said it, typing it. I know it. Oh, Crypt Keeper said, reminder to turn on notifications. That's fine. You know what's funny though? YouTube sucks. I have my notifications on for everyone's live, and it does not tell me. It'll literally be in the middle of a stream and be like, here you go, they're live now.
This is what I'm going to need all of you to do right now. I'm going to need you to take out your smartphone. I'm going to need you to go to the alarm clock or the clock in your apps, and then go to Monday and set an alarm for 9 p.m. Eastern time. And there's your bell. There's your friendly reminder.
He's been telling me to set an alarm for my credit card payment every month too. Look how far that's gotten. I am behind again. It's only a day though. Oh, Silver Creek said, then you're definitely turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Oh man, you guys are probably the same age.
I just found out today that they made it illegal for one of my favorite dream turtles. So it's like I'm looking at Texas property even harder now. Going to Texas.
Let's see, Gary has a phone alarm set for the stream.
We're going to Texas legitly in like 3 weeks, and Shelby's gonna be like, "Where's Grant?" And there's gonna be like a realtors expo next door. I'll be like, "Who's gonna hook me up? Who wants to sell one in Florida and
looks
Texas?"
Like we're opening up
time?
2 facilities, and he can move to Texas. I'll stay here.
Hey, how's it going? All the way from Hawaii. Aloha. How's it? I am actually born in Hawaii, and so Hawaii is not a place we'll be going though, because we cannot bring invasives into theirs. And yeah, sadly, if you've ever ordered shrimp from us, you got a refund. I'm sorry.
Frank said, Papa Shrimp mentioned in his last stream that he likes the new fluval bio substrate.
My dad is the commodore at the Hawaii Yacht Club. So like just go there, order a drink, and then drink it, and then be like, "Drinks on me, Grant said it," and just walk out. He'll call me, I'll just be like, "Yeah, that was on me, Dad."
Don't do that. I'm scared of his dad. Don't.
Oh, no. It's free. No. Anybody that watched the stream tonight, free drink at the Hawaiian Yacht Club.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Could you imagine if there was more than
That's
one?
46 feet, 7 now. They heard free drinks in Hawaii. People are joining from all over.
Some people are just going to go there now just to visit and say that. So do you like the fluval bio substrate? Do we even have it?
I didn't get it yet. No. I talked to the guy at Fluvale, and he's like, "Oh yeah, message me and I'll get back to you." And because I couldn't find it in my stores and I didn't know who sold it, and it never got back to me. I know it's out in stores, but I heard other things about it not being actual pH buffering substrate, and it makes a lot of sense because when we got our hands on it at Global, it was as hard as samurai soil. So I don't have very much belief that it's going to buffer after. Jerry said that there was no mention of pH buffering on the bag. I did look at Petco last Friday if they had it in stock, because like I'll buy a bag, but I don't know. I don't have faith in it.
Yeah, and you have to have something like that for longer than a month to have a good opinion on it. Like I am tired of seeing everyone review these lights and filters and substrate, and they just put it in a take a week ago and they're like, yes, it's great. Yeah, everything is great within like a month, and then after that you might have some issues. So until this product's around for quite some time, like give it at least 6 months before you know that it's a good product.
That's the other thing is substrate. If it doesn't last 3 to 4 years, like it's not good substrate. So like it's gonna take some time and some testing
to get a good opinion on it.
To be fair for Fluvale, I mean, we've got some of the stratum substrate set up in the new rack, and I did my cleaning where I shook all the moss in the tank. Some babies fell in. Those babies have already had babies in the tank. So it's and they're crazy blues. They're tibees. They're not. One of them's a Galaxy Pinto baby. They're not very easy shrimp to keep. So the substrate works. The question is, how long does it work? Because
And
a
it's
lot of my
worth it.
customers, 6 months to a year, the fluval stratum has already gone to 6.5. So we will see. We will give it a fair test with perfect conditions.
Says, what if I mix all the shrimp in one tank?
I mean, that is how you have the most fun, but also you're doing the most work because, like I mentioned, the Tangerine Tiger gene is a son of a gun. That thing will take over, and before you know it, you will have 90% orange shrimp in the tank. The same with breeding neos, you will get 99% wilds, and those are just clear, dull, not a lot of fun. So, the purple shrimp is just going to be selective breeding out the Aurora Blue and Taiwan B, like 5 to 10 generations at least. And then the Neo Cardino is Blue Dream with Bloody Mary. But again, it's a shot in the dark on whether or not you're going to be able to hit your target. And like I said, 9 out of 10 times, I could have just got real lucky, and it was 1 out of 100 times it's going to be wild. So.
Welcome in, Scruffy City Aquatics.
What's up, man?
Robert said, oh, thanks, guys. Feel the love.
Oh, well, you guys earned it.
Silver Creek said, I started with a few Petco reds and now have over 50 red, orange, and yellow all over. I love watching them. I had one riding on my arm the whole time I was cleaning the tank earlier. That happens. It's hilarious.
Yeah, some of them just like refuse to leave you alone. And I find it funny when the ones are like, I want the inside of the net. And they just swim right in. And I'm like, you're going to a different place. You're crazy. You do not belong in my tanks.
Hello, Lady Diane. Welcome in. So is topping off better or doing a water change at the same time?
So the best thing to do is keep a lid so you don't have to top off. And you have to stay on top of your water changes. If you're doing your water changes every week and you have maybe just a light centimeter worth of evaporation, then no problem. Maybe instead of mixing your minerals to 150, you mix them to 145. You can play with the math that way. The other thing is if you're waiting 2 weeks, you're going to have, way more than 1 centimeter. And for that reason, I would top off rather than risking getting the math right, because you're not going to be exactly at the same amount of evaporation every week.
Welcome in, Thomas.
And you're waiting longer than 2 weeks, shame on you. Do your water changes.
Arctic Wind said, thank you for saying that about water changes with buried or baby shrimps in the tank. I knew that was right and it never stopped, but I was always told I was wrong. Elbow cut.
So the whole myth or stigma in the hobby with shrimp like old aged water, it's because there's people out there that don't like using prime and don't want to use dechlorinators that take the chlorine out. So that old aged water is just water that's been gassed out, so there's not chemicals in it that are going to poison the shrimp. But they're not meaning like old aged, like month-old water. They just mean like gas it out for 2 days and then use it.
Welcome in, Snoop.
Am I talking too much, Matt? Grant.
No. Oh, so Fish Family gives notifications? Gives notifications? I'm going to have to try that, see if that works. That's funny. But yeah, try not to break them so that they work for me. Oh.
That link has saved me so much time and so much comfort, because when I was broken, I had lived on that link. I'm like, who's on now? I'm bored.
Yeah, see, I go on the website, but I didn't know that it can notify you. Like, I'll go on there when I'm not doing anything and see if anyone's live, pop in, say hello. Try to see beforehand if anyone's got something really interesting. Like this morning, the Killies talk on the morning show. I love Killies, so it was nice. All right. Sandy said, hi, everybody. I'm late as usual. I broke my hip Wednesday. Whoa, 6 days ago. Sorry to hear about that. That's terrible. That had to hurt so bad. That's excruciating. I was operated on yesterday and I missed your stream last Wednesday, and brother is feeding animals. I'm worried about overfeeding. Oh,
So I have the same issue where I'm worried about some friends watching our tanks and overfeeding, and I was almost like, Shelby, maybe just go 5 days without feeding everything's probably better than risking the overfeeding. The other way to make sure that they're not overfeeding is if they can bring you little tiny packets or something like that you can put little tiny small amounts of shrimp food or fish food in it and say, all right, use this for this tank and however many days.
Kind of prepare for that.
No, I'm just saying, make him go to the store, go to Hobby Lobby, get the little tiny baggies, or get those pill organizers Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Sunday. What?
Just forget Sunday or Saturday.
Hopefully, you're not down and out for too long, but yeah. I imagine so with it being a hip. I was out for 10 weeks and it was just a mere ankle.
Hope for speedy recovery. Silver Creek Aquarius said, real golf, they're both hard to get over 600 feet.
Well, listen.
You're not gonna argue about that.
You're not.
How many axolotls do you have in a 40-gallon tank?
Hold on, 600 feet. I was thinking yards. Listen, 600 feet. I'm worried about putting it 600 feet into neighborhoods that shouldn't even have golf balls going in there with my bad hits. I'm driving 320 yards, so I have one bad slice, and I'm in neighborhoods that I shouldn't be. I told Shelby today I lose on average 3 balls every time I play golf, and she's like, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, but I find 2 or 3 good balls. Just I'm not going to mark my ball every single time, that I'm going to go
How many
through.
axolotls do you have in your 40-gallon tank?
3.
Crip says, I think Fluval is growing on Shelby. Could see the effort it took her to say Fluval.
No, Fluval.
I'm not saying it right.
Fluval.
I'm not. No, not doing it.
See, Oscars found out why they refunded before we even explained it. That's how deep into chat we're behind.
Yeah, I don't know what you said that I could smack you, but he gave me the go-to, so every word, right?
Yeah, you said something I said in another stream. I have no idea what I said sometimes. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, I did not mean to say it like that. I don't know what came out.
See, DJ Owen said, you're right, but it's all good. I'm still learning. It gives me something to aim for. And dang, you throwing shade at us who are reviews products, Shelby.
Yeah, see, look at you.
I don't know everyone's reviews product. I just see notifications and I have not seen yours. So I definitely wouldn't have said that you watching. I'm talking about the people who I know are not watching our streams. But yeah.
You're not
for free product,
that's
a whole different story.
I watched your Higer review.
I'm sorry. I don't have time like you do. He sits there and I'm usually working. So
But we don't do it because we want to sell stuff on our website. So we'll test it out for quite some time before. If it's a product review,
I'm worried about something like that, and new companies coming out and selling something, and you make this whole. I mean, you spend time on these videos. That's my issues. I spend my time on a video, and then a month later, that light craps out or that filter craps out on you, and then you're just like, cool.
For your 4 hours of hard work.
I don't want to be that person. But I have seen a lot of people doing the Higer, and now everyone's really liking it. So, of course, I'm going to regret it in the long run that we don't do it. But
I also don't want to be I want the longest light because that's what I use. I feel like, I don't know. We'll buy one.
Nothing against people that do it. I just don't personally want to. But that's a whole different story to do a light that's not causing any harm to any animal, but Substrate, where it's going to cause harm to some of the shrimp that are living and need a lower pH, and then all of a sudden it goes up. That's I'm not gonna give a product like that or something that there's heaters that malfunction and kill a whole shrimp tank. I'm not going to do a review for something that could kill an animal. Like,
but that's why we only trust Cobalt brand of heaters.
Stop. Shameless plug.
We don't sell Cobalt or anything like
No,
that.
You're right. But it's not that someone's doing a light review or something simple like that.
We've used them for 3 years and never had an issue. And we've used other heaters and we've had issues. We've cheaped out and it's cost us. The Cobalt heaters are very expensive, but I've never had an issue. And they're the only ones I trust with our Lotus shrimp. That's the only reason why we need heaters.
What did you say that you... birthday song stuck in my head?
Because I said 2 Chainz, he was just staying stagnant. He didn't need to be a rapper. He just decided to be one day.
Jess said, that's why I said I was only giving the opinion at first setup and would come back down the road and give an update. See, that's a good idea. Because you're right, you don't know in one day.
Yeah, I know. I watched hers. I heard you talking about it on the morning show where you're like, no, I won't give you a good review. I'll give you an honest review. So I was like,
I think we were watching that together.
Then I was like, maybe we should message them and say the same thing. But I was like, we don't have time to do a video. And they messaged us back like, are you going to give us an update on it? Da, 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 da. And I'm just like.
And it's just not in the fish hobby. I mean, this is with everything. I mean, something brand new comes out and that person's like, this is the new diet. This is the new thing. And like 6 months later, there's people with like eating disorders from it. So it's not really good. Or like, like what is that horse stuff that people are eating, and like people ended up in the hospital because like nothing is set in stone. So I mean, that's a whole different story though. That's really dangerous. But I'm more for nothing dangerous.
I'm gonna start wording it like that now. But yeah, nobody.
People are gonna get in the hospital from this heater.
And then, like, if you want to hear a good story about a fish club meeting and then, like, something retaining to, like, sponsorship and products and me trying out stuff, you're going to have to join us on Skipper's stream. Not Skipper, Scotty. Oh, my God. Why did I get my 2 S's mixed up?
That's not the S. You got the S right.
Saturday at 7.
So Brandon said, is there any emergency procedure to help with shrimp molting? I think my water was too soft for 4GH for crystals. They seem to struggle with breaking the shell and died this morning.
Do another water change and increase the minerals. You can do large water changes, several water changes, back-to-back water changes. Like if I have a tank where I'm having an algae issue, I might hit that tank 2 or 3 times a week just to cut back on the algae having any organisms in the water column to feed off of. The shrimp are still going to love it. They're going to do great. A lot of these shrimp come from streams where they're constantly fed pure, clean water out of the aquifer. So clean water is going to be your friend for nice, healthy growth on shrimp and plants.
How does grading shrimp work? Like what each one means? We're gonna have to do
so
it.
many
that's
different.
That's live.
I think that might be like. I don't think it can be next week's live stream because we'll just be getting back from Kentucky, and I want to be able to like plan that one out. And no, we'll be on the way to Kentucky. Maybe I can do that for next week's live stream. That's a possibility. But you can grade for 2 different things. You can grade for color and you can grade for pattern, and depending on what kind of shrimp. That means several different things. I know I did talk about that in one of the other recent videos, but I've done so many live streams with other people, I can't remember which one's which now. So, Leo, stick with us. I will a whole live stream just the grading shrimp for you.
Silver Creek said, I can hit a ball over 200 yards too, but a disc with body force. It's crazy. Everyone says they can play it, and then they can only throw 250 or hit 150 and to 175 yards, way off the wrong direction. Both, I play both and other sports. Sounds like you're gonna have to compete with them.
So I'll play like frisbee golf if somebody wants me to go play. But I used to play ultimate frisbee in high school, and our PE coach would literally pull me out of class to go play on her team against the entire senior football team in ultimate frisbee, and it would just be 2 of us and a female coach, Gressick, and it was the other kid was Mason. He was the fastest kid in school. and I would just get the frisbee, throw the frisbee as far as I could, which was an entire length of a football field, and he would just run faster than everybody else and catch it. So I'm quite confident on my frisbee throwing abilities. And Jaden also loves throwing frisbee, so we've been doing that quite a bit.
So Lefty said, ouch, Shelby doesn't watch my videos. My heart.
I do.
You
I
know
watch
what's
your
funny?
videos enough for the both of us. Okay, Lefty?
It's going to hurt my heart so much that I hurt you that I'm going to go watch all of them. I'm not kidding. I'll spend the next week and you'll see me comment on every one and I will watch them because I am one of those guilty people because I truly like you as a person and I want to support you. And when I don't do it, I feel really bad.
And the other thing is, like, you do the live streams that are later on after, like, Ed's show with Rico or something like that. And I know we're, like, up late, like, right now, but most of the nights we're, like, in bed by, like, 10 o'clock. So maybe we wake up too early and get too much work done in the day, and then we're, like, crashed out. So
Gary lost.
But I watch
power.
all the videos you post. What?
What is that noise?
I
It's
don't know.
shrimp again.
Oh, yeah.
Sandy said, Grant, I was assistant golf pro years ago. Hard to repeat the same shot. Either your putting stinks one day, the next day irons than the driver. This is why you keep trying.
Is the challenge.
Thank you. It's the challenge.
No, for sure. Because today, for whatever reason, I had my drives on point and my 5-wood on point. My 3-wood Slice City. This one guy was like, "Hey, play ahead."
You're gonna have to make your own golf
220 yards, dead straight shot with the 5-wood right on the green.
All right.
So proud.
If setting up 3 or more 10 gallons to separate my shrimp by color, oh lordy, it starts.
No,
that was so
it's
difficult.
Pokemon. You got to catch them all. Everyone's like, "Oh, who's your favorite character in Pokemon?" And mine's always Brock. He's the Pokemon breeder. He's gonna be growing up Pokemon master breeder. And that's me.
Silver Creek said, "We'll binge watch your playlist now." Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody should go over to Lefty's channel after the stream and watch some of his videos and turn on the notification to the next live stream.
Scotty said, "I got a review for the moss, but not the shrimp." That's weird. I don't know how the website works, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they only like send out so many automatic emails. So we might have like hit our max or something like that because I'm not going to pay any more money to the website just for them to ask you guys for referrals. So I only get like $50 a month for free.
Only Oscar says, "How can I do a water change without catching shrimp?" You catch your shrimp every time you do a water change?
So we get a siphon with a mesh guard on the bottom that prevents the baby shrimp from getting sucked up. You can also use like nylon or a sock, pantyhose, and yeah, but it does get dirty. The mulm does stick to it and clogs it up. I can't even recommend the filter guards that we get. Han doesn't make them anymore. I do know Han's still around though, and I've always thought about like, hey Han, will you make 100 of each size, and then I'll carry those on the website. But it's like expensive for each one. They're all handmade, takes a lot of time, and you have to have the best grade of stainless steel and tiny mesh, the perfect size that's not going to suck up baby shrimp, but also won't have enough space for the shrimp legs to get inside as well, because the shrimp legs can get caught in nets and stuff like that, break off. Yeah, they can grow them back, but you don't want to put the shrimp through that stress. But yeah, just any sponge with a high micron will also help. But again, it's going to slow down flow rate. It gets clogged. It's hard to clean. The best is the stainless steel mesh.
Maybe if someone sees it, though, they can
Okay.
try to make it themselves.
I just thought she was just getting herself some water. And that's what we use. You can put it inside the hose or onto the hose. And yeah, that's all we use. You cannot siphon substrate in a shrimp tank. Just don't do it. You're going to create issues. Don't overfeed and add some Malaysian trumpet snails, and that'll take care of that issue.
Biggest thing that I would say, if you were to ever want to suck up the mulm on the bottom of your tank and you do have shrimp, and it's literally the last thing we ever want you to do. But if you do, on the other side of the hose, use a net when it's going in and make sure it's on there tight so you don't lose shrimp, and siphon into a bucket so you can catch them all in the net and then put them back in the tank. But that's an absolute emergency only.
And empty the net into the bucket because a lot of the mulm is going to be stuck still in the net. So then you catch them very slowly and sift out the mulm. It's a process. It's not something I like to do often, but we do have a very old Tangerine tiger tank, and it's doing some ghostly fog thing. And I think the only way for us to get rid of it is to go through and suck up all the mulm on the left side of the tank, because there's a half-inch layer now. And I don't even think it's from overfeeding. I think it's from the wood breaking down. And it's so old. And we do overfeed that tank quite a bit.
So Lefty said, yeah, I told him straight up, I'm testing what I want and I'm giving my honest opinion. So if it doesn't work well, I will say so.
Oh.
Love it. Love it. Oh, I didn't see. Why aren't these popping up? Thank you, DJ Owen, for the $2 super sticker. Definitely hit the wrong.
There's an offset in the universe now. All right, so the Bloody Marys can do the same exact thing as the Red King Kongs, and a lot of people were referring to the Bloody Marys as also having the dragon's blood, because you can get the pigment so black or dark that it starts to turn black. And then I bet you when you turn the lights on in the morning, they look blue or purple in color. And as their stress comes to a normal level, they revert back to the really dark red with the black swirls. If they turn solid black, though, chances are it was a cull. Bloody Marys can still throw not wild, but black and blue colors, because they're from the Black Rose line original.
So Silver Creek Aquarius said, nice. An ultimate, you had to say it that way. An ultimate background really helps. Just different lingo for throws. Awesome. All right. And Thomas said he can throw a football over those mountains.
I can't throw a football. My shoulder's done for whatever reason. If I try to throw a fastball, I'll hurt myself.
Lefty said he's just messing. I know it's still gonna bother me so much.
Little things like that, they'll get to her, and then she'll hold a grudge.
Because I want to be able to, when I see someone else,
and the grudge will be against herself. Yeah. That's the crazy thing. All right, we're running through chat now for quite some time, and there's somebody in chat that I just want to know about them Cardina crosses. So I'm gonna jump back into it because we're at the top of the list. Number one in the charts for my favorite all-time best orange eye crosses. And it's Crypt Keeper, by the way. If you want to know who's doing that, it's Crypt Keeper. He's like, I'm sharing the links. Get back to my question. So it's going to be the orange eyes. Basically, the hot new thing on the market right now in the shrimp hobby is the different orange eye crosses that are coming out. You've got the lapis, you've got the orange-eyed purple metallics, the full metal jacket, even the Alexander, the German breeder. If he's not German, I'm very sorry, but yeah, I believe he is. And so
he's gonna watch this video one day.
I'd like to give the Deutschland the credit where it's deserved. They're one of the top countries of breeding shrimp in the States, and then there's only a few other European countries that I recognize that have good shrimp breeders. But, it doesn't mean they're not out there. I just don't know who they are. I don't look. So, the orange eyes are all originally from the orange-eyed blue tigers. Orange-eyed blue tigers, they throw the blondes, they throw the solid royal blues, and then eventually you can breed them out to be the black. So, the very first, hybrid orange-eyed that came out was the orange-eyed yellow King Kong. There's some orange-eyed red tigers and stuff, but I don't really call them hybrids because they're Cardina Maria. They could have been either selected bred for those colors or crossbred back with the red tigers to get those within 2 generations. Not a lot of effort. But the yellow King Kongs, they're such a dominant, hardy, fast-breeding shrimp that they were probably thrown in with some orange-eyed yellow King Kongs. Not orange-eyed. Some orange-eyed blue tigers or black tigers to get The F1 is going to look like Tangerine tigers, but then F2 you're going to end up with some nice orange eyes that you can breed out. So within F3, I'm sure they were able to make orange-eyed yellow King Kongs from the original orange-eyed cross. But from there, they really went rampant. They crossed them back with the black tigers, got the orange-eyed black King Kongs and red King Kongs, the red devils and stuff that we know today. But the end game for everything would be like an orange-eyed metallic boa or something like that. And that's kind of where the white gene thing comes in, because with the orange-eyed yellow King Kongs, that's really easy because the yellow is such a dominant color. However, with white, it's not so dominant. In fact, when you breed out the shadow Taiwan bees, the blue, as you start to breed it out, will actually dominate and trump over the white. So for that matter, white's a little on the recessive end, and it doesn't really show through with crossing back on the orange-eyed product. So when something says, oh, it has white gene, it used to be a lot more rare than it is now. Now there's so many different orange-eyed blue steels, orange-eyed lapis that have the white present that it's not really that popular or rare and high priced as it used to be. In fact, I think I can make white gene by just selectively breeding for it within 3 or 4 generations. But the first 2 generations are so dull and lack any color that it's such a money pit on breeders trying to make the new best looking shrimp that it was kind of backtracked for quite some time in the hobby because everybody was focused on the fancy tigers and galaxy boas. Now that those are already accomplished and maxed, people are starting to go back to the roots, starting back with the orange eyes and seeing what they can make and cross out. It's finding out that it's really not as hard as it was once believed. It just takes 3 or 4 generations, but because they used the yellow King Kongs, they were able to accomplish this really fast because they're really quick breeders. And that's where you get the orange gene. Orange is a yellow King Kong, tangerine tiger gene. It's dominant. So anything that you're breeding and it has kind of like orange eyes with what I like to refer as like the golden bee body style, the red bolt, red steel. There's not a lot of white pigment to it. So the lack of the white is the orange gene. And then, if you had the white pigment to it, that would be the white gene. But it's really not as rare or even should be listed as such.
So Matt said Shelby is busy with her full-time, but not full-time job helping Grant. If you added up all the hours I work for Grant, it's definitely full-time.
It's full-time both sides. And then she's a full-time mother, and then she makes Elon Musk.
They're actually so much better. Like they're so much older. Like I feel like they're just so easy now. Like I missed their baby stage. They needed me. Now they don't need me unless they want food. And then I'm like, that's all you need me for? You don't need me?
No, Scotty, not Hans Discus. Han Aquatics, who no longer does aquatics. He does Hans houseplants now. So a lot easier to take care of houseplants than doing the water changes and preventing algae for aquatics. So I, for a long time, did not do plants in the hobby just out of respect for Han because he would help us out so much. Any plants that I needed to sell, I could just trade to Han for like shrimp food and stuff like that. But now that he's out of the hobby, anything that Chance doesn't do, I'm going to pretty much take care of. And that's like the bread and butter, the really easy aquatics. Chance does all the like real cool, interesting things. So I'm just going to get the stuff that you want to put in your really easy starter beginner aquariums and then have like a link to Chance's stuff if you want the harder stuff.
And only Oscar said we should sell those, but I mean, if we ever have the time.
I got to talk to Han about him maybe making them. The problem is finding that stainless steel mesh. We had some other one that we brought in, but the screen was too big for the shrimp to break their legs in. So it's very, very difficult.
I read this comment so many times that I have to say it now because I finally got what it said. It said, Thomas, if we only had one of them time machines. I'm sorry. I literally had to keep reading it because I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, what is this? Oh, welcome in, James from Fish Room Fever.
And then thank you so much, Crypt Keeper. This man, not only is he sharing our stuff on Facebook, but he's out there grinding out on them links. The aquatic isopods have been on the website for a little bit. We also got Java ferns, guppy grass, not shrimp safe guppy grass though. It's got them scuttlebuttons in it. And then
Scootaloos.
we also need to add
It's
the
getting
shrimp
late.
sticks on there, but I didn't want them to all sell them, and I didn't have them for the Keystone Clash.
Yeah.
But that's kind of counterproductive. So I might take a picture and throw those on the website tomorrow.
So what he means by that, he's going to make me take a
Forget
picture
about it and be like, "Hey, Shelby, you want something to do?"
Oh, Killer Kitty is finally off work. Yeah, that's like the best feeling ever. So Guppy Beast asked, you use a pump for water changes or just gravity?
So to get the water out of the tanks, we use just gravity. I've got a long enough hose, and Shelby hates it because I like to leave it with enough water in the hose, and it's just all over the house. So that way, the next day when I want to do my water changes, I just stick the hose in the tank, and then I walk the line, and then it just starts magically doing its water changes all on its own, all by itself with gravity. And it goes out the doggy door, so it's not like I'm wasting any electricity. Our doggy door is not airtight, so.
Yeah, and it's but he makes it seem like it's not a big deal that we're always constantly tripping over this like 50
Speak
foot
for
of
yourself.
hose in the house.
It's not constant.
Yeah,
I might trip on it once in a while.
How many different colors of Neos?
Oh, there's
too many.
Every color but pink. That's my best way to put it. And then there's different variations like rilli for red, blue, orange, and green, but that's about it.
Crypt Keeper said, I see how it is, Shelby. You could say noise, but you can't say not doing it.
She's bringing out her inner Steve Irwin, and she goes,
noise! Oh,
crikey!
You gotta stop bringing him up. I'm still sad about it. Like, honestly. And then every time I see their kids post a video, it's just like, and then they'll post videos on his birthday, and it's just hard. I'll literally be in tears at work, out of nowhere. And someone will be like, what's wrong? And I'll be like, Steve Irwin died. Steve Irwin died. It's sad.
You know how scared I am of stingrays in the wild now?
We shuffle. We definitely shuffle our feet.
I'm just scared of the freaking schools of them. But not really. I was still swimming out there. I think I had to hold the kids up during one of them last time we were at the beach.
They do look cool with yellow eyes.
Yeah, that's also one of the things that got me enticed in the hobby was seeing the orange-eyed blue tiger. So I was like, I gotta have those.
Like yellow to me. You know, here's the thing. Right. So they will look different shades of orange. Now there is like those lapis that Grant's talking about. A lot of them have the really dark orange eyes to them, and they look incredible. They look unreal, honestly.
But the yellow
a lot of them,
they look yellow.
Yeah,
like they're yellow, and some of them are so yellow they're like almost white.
It could be, you know, I don't know, honestly. I don't know if you know why some of them. I don't know if it's like the pigment of the skin.
The chitin. I can't remember. I know somebody did the correct way to say it in chat. I just don't remember. But then also one of my favorite crosses that didn't make it on the list because it's super confusing and it's not that interesting is the orange eyes cross with the hollow eye. You end up with all normal eye, but then the next cross after we ended up with some like really vibrant different color eye colorations and some hollow eyes. So it's something to work on, but not worthy of being on the list. I don't have pictures or good colonies going yet, but future video for sure.
James says he's back to lurk editing.
Appreciate that. I think we're gonna get back to catching up on chat, get to the end, and then wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie, for talking about our live stream Wednesday for Halfscaped. Next episode should have a special guest, hopefully. You should know more possibly tomorrow, and we'll get that posted. Have a good night, Frank. Why isn't it showing us these? Fish Tank Dads, thank you so much for the $2. Gonna be ordering some tangerine tigers from you in September. Those are my favorite.
We've got 7 or 8 tanks of those breeding inside, so we're able to constantly keep those in stock now.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Have a good night, Scruffy City Aquatics.
Hey, man.
Xanda Doo will welcome in and have a good night at the same time.
Hello, goodbye.
Hello, goodbye. Have a good night, Johnny B. And Thomas said, I can 3D print the thing if looking for, if you're interested. That might be a good idea because it could be a cheap alternative and last longer.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
3D print these. It depends on how thin you can really make it, because I know that you guys can make it really thin, but it would have to be really really
Chaz does the 3D printing for us if we ever need something from Elevate Shrimp, and he embeds the stainless steel mesh into them, and he's got a lot going on, but maybe I'll message him and see if he can do a wholesale order on a bunch of them, and they would literally hook right onto the Aqueon siphon. So that's another idea. I forgot. I think we have one of those too. I just don't use it because it's so bulky. It's hard to get into some of our tanks.
Oh, that's been so long ago. I forgot about that. Just said, Shelby, the scoots don't eat the guppy grass or the mosses of yours. Mine eat everything.
That's because scuds will not eat healthy plants. They only eat the plants that are dead and dying. They love dead, decaying material. If it's healthy and lush and vibrant growing, the scuds aren't going to touch it.
Yeah. I thought someone came out with a pink Neo. I can't remember where I seen it or heard it.
I'm telling you, I've seen pink Neos in our tanks, but every time you go to breed it out, by the time it has babies, it's back to being like red again. I think it's like a molt, like the shrimp stuck pre-molt or something like that. You can get a picture of it, but nobody's posted a colony or a picture. And Jess, are you going to enter shrimp in the shrimp contest?
You have beautiful shrimp.
I know you said you might not be making it to Aquashella and that you're going to the Triple Crown. I haven't seen an update on that since, but I would love for you to enter shrimp again, because I would like anybody that enters shrimp that also has channels. We can put your guys' channels, link them in the description for you guys.
Jamie said Neos are all pink once they die. It's their end game. Brandon said, Grant, I found an Instagram page that has orange-eyed Neos. Is that real?
So here's my take on that. I think they could be real, but I don't think that they're being like fully true, because for it to be completely orange-eyed, it must have a black pupil. And all of the ones that I saw at the beginning still had the black pupil. And then we said, hey, it's got a black pupil. It's not a legit orange eye. And then they started coming out with like what looked like legit orange eyes. But like, was it Photoshopped, doctored, or something like that? So I don't have a lot of faith in it. But I've posted a couple Neos where it looks like they have orange eyes. But if you look real close, they have the little black dot. And for the most part, it's Neos that are culls. Like, they're lacking color in the body, so therefore they're also lacking pigment in the eye as well. So I've been culling like weird eye Neos for ages, and now they want to charge $200 for culls. But like I said, if they were legit, like orange eye, like the ones that are being posted, $20 maybe tops, not $200.
Have a good night, Lonnie. And Thomas said it can make it whatever dimensions, so that's pretty cool. And Dee Dee said, wow, still at it. Just finished the live stream lineup video. Nice. You're good at that. But this is the one that got me laughing. So Silver Creek Aquarius. Question. I was told by an intellectual PetSmart employee, we should end the sentence right there, the stripe down a shrimp's back has to do with their digestion, i.e. the whitish band or pinstripes some have down the center of their back.
Nope, that's not true. It's 100% genetics. You can't change it. And the other thing is it comes as maturity. Crypt Keeper, if you get the backlines, you might realize like some of them are not covered head to toe. And the reason why is because it's something that forms as they grow. But I know if they have it on their head at all, once they're 3 centimeters large, that backline will also be 3 centimeters. And then it's really hard to cull backlines because, again, they can show up as adults.
So Jess said, I'm going to Aquashella and not the Triple Crown. So you had it backwards. And I'm not entering.
No. She was debating on whether or not. Joe
and I'm not
said
entering...
that they should do the Triple Crown because it was a once in a lifetime thing. So she was still undecided.
Not entering the shrimp contest this time because I have culled really hard. So only have 4 awesome, almost neon orange females.
I understand.
Take those precious babies and treat them right. Those are such beautiful shrimps. And Jamie said, congrats on the 2 months of membership milestones. I remember lurking when you were fighting to get the 1,000 subscribers.
The hours watched.
Yeah.
And if we had been doing these live streams since the beginning of us trying, we would have hit that a long time ago. But
Can you believe it's been 2 months though? It's going by so fast because I'm just enjoying it.
It would have taken away from us doing those other videos though, because we're learning now it's very difficult to do live streams. Like we say, oh, we got time on Mondays. We're on the computer anyways. Let's do the live streams. Where we're like, that's also time we were editing and putting together videos. Is because Mondays are her day off. Except she works for me and does all the packages, so she doesn't get a day off. But
he says this day off. I don't know what this day off
corporate
is. Corporate
day off. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Tuesday through Saturday, I am working, and then I do stuff at home on those nights, of course, because we always have projects going on. Then Sundays are usually a project day. Now, sometimes I get the day off, but usually it's fixing the website or fixing something in the business in some way. And then Monday is shipment days. So usually we got to get that ready. And if I do take a Saturday off where everyone at my actual work thinks that I'm getting a day off, I'm usually going to the fish club meeting, which is nice. I enjoy it. But then I usually have so much work to do when I get home because I decide to buy so many fish.
And then we bag up a good 40 bags of stuff to take to the auction usually. So
it's not a simple day off where you could just like lay in bed and
my handwriting's
watch a
atrocious,
movie.
so she's got to write on all those bags.
But we're really gonna keep going. We always stay late because we just want to make sure everyone's questions are asked. I know, it's you. I asked for the blue striped ones to make it easy. They said they aren't striped. It's just their digestion. No, man.
The only thing is digestion that you can really see is like you will see the line of poop coming out. The all of their guts and digestive system is like literally like in their like what we would think is like their chin, their head, the throat of the shrimp, and then the body, like where they carry the eggs and everything like that. That's all swimmerets and genitalia, no digestive tract except for the colon goes all the way down the shrimp. So you can see the poop line going through it, but that's only if they're not eating a nice balanced assortment of shrimp envy diet.
Facebook, I show you some Neos I saw. And they were nearly fully grown as the ones in the store.
My phone was blowing up earlier.
Good to know about the backline forming as it matured. Thanks, Grant, Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, no, I've seen all these photos, but like they just, if you look at the pupils, you can see black in the middle. And it just leads me to believe that the other part of the photo was doctored because I have that white pigment.
Those look fake.
I have the white pigment there, and then when you bring it out, it just...
See, those are definitely fake. Those ones are fake. There is a breeder that actually has some looks legit pictures. Those ones you're seeing are completely fake. I'm sorry. Those are faked. Those are not real. The orange eyes are way too orange for them. But Jess said, be in my shoes, streaming 4 mornings a week. I couldn't imagine. It's pretty cool, though.
And you do it at a time where it's like, that is like my most productive hours of the day. Like, for other reasons, most of the time I'm usually slowed down. But
Silver Creek says I need to get a computer so I can start streaming as well. Love to be face to face with so many of y'all. Take the
especially
leap.
like when we
Take
do the
it.
guests and live streams with other people, like Skipper, Ed, going on Jess's channel. We don't get to see these people very, very often, you know. So this is kind of like us hanging out, chit chatting,
Before we see them in person.
or in between. It's like our fixes.
And Snoop, thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. Informative strum tonight.
Hopefully
so
it
much.
was, mixed up enough that you didn't get too lazy or bored with it. Because I know when I talk about genetics for the clubs, I kind of lose some of the old timers when I start diving into the tibee categories. Probably tibees too.
Crypt Keeper said, if I had tibee coals from 2 different types put in their own tank, are they still tibees, or does that revert them back?
Like I mentioned, this is where I wish we could set the standards and set it to where it's just the double pigment is considered a tibee. But once a tibee, always a tibee in their books. So it depends whether you go from the Grant standard of shrimp characteristics or what the rest of the world and their majority rule.
Jamie said, Shelby, just imagine how bad it would be if you were not there to get Grant through the week with your day off.
I would have had to skip out on going to golf and probably wouldn't have gotten all the packages done. My neck's still killing me. The good thing about golfing is, though, I don't need to move my neck. If I move my neck, I play worse. So, literally, a stiff neck is exactly what I need to go play a good round of golf. I just got to rely on Matt. When I hit a good shot, where did it go, Matt? I can't find it that fast.
Silver Creek said, yeah, the poo line is in all crustaceans. Even lobsters had heads to, as my Chezek grandma called it.
I'm pretty sure that's what my grandpa calls it too, because my grandpa will eat the entire lobster, eyes, stomach, guts, and all. And I'm just not about that
Big
life.
Dog said, you think you can have 4 axolotls and 40 gallons, and how much water changes do you need to do?
10 gallons for each axolotl is the ultimate maximum. But then there's
minimum,
also...
you meant.
No, I meant the maximum amount of axolotls that you can keep in a 40 gallon.
10 gallons minimum.
10 gallons per. And so for that reason, there's also you get your average size axolotl. But if all 4 of them were above average size, then you should do 3 in a 40 gallon. But you can do 4 average size axolotls in a 40 gallon breeder. And you're going to need to do 90% water changes every other week or 50% every week. They're heavy because they don't like flow. And because they don't like flow, you can't do a lot of filtrations. We use the standing sponge filter in their tank. And we do heavy water changes and spot siphon the gunk off the bottoms. But you're going to need those heavy water changes with lack of filtration.
Matt said Shelby stayed awake. I did good.
Yeah.
I did good. Silver Creek said,
and no allergies,
lobster,
and she cleaned the entire house for the turtle guy today. So
yeah, well, I did. It wasn't much dust. I've been keeping up on the lid, so it's a little bit better. How much do you feed your shrimp tank a week? Depends on how many shrimp you have in there.
Yep. Every other day, so 3 to 4 times a week. But if you had thousands of shrimp in a 10-gallon tank, it's possible I would be feeding a couple times a day. None of my tanks get that populated.
Yeah. And thank you, Gary. Have a good night.
You calling me tomorrow?
Crypt Keeper said I could listen to you talk about genetics all day. I'm going to get you 2 in a room, and I'm going to walk away because I want to go to sleep. Just kidding. He has to put it out. He's taught me over the years. I mean, he is picked up on this incredibly well. But
I lost so much information in the process. You can ask me names and all this other stuff. You can be somebody I went to high school with, and I've forgotten you and replaced you with shrimp information.
like our birthday and anniversary. I'm
No,
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that is not true. You're
I
making
know,
me
I'm
look
just
really
kidding.
bad.
No, I'm
I know
kidding.
her birthday is the last day of a month. I can't get my months right. Like, how many days are in this month? That is my issue.
Yeah.
I know February. That's really easy.
Have a good night, Robert. And I think this is a perfect time to end it.
Yeah. You should hit end broadcast and then do our intro, outro. So there's no awkwardness.
What do you mean? I have,
yeah. So
this?
just smash that and then hit end broadcast.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.